This the introduction. Yep, I'm introducing me. 6 feet, 300 pounds, known to rock the newest sneaks. Coolin', never foolin', rockin' G-Shocks like it's jewelry. Counting mad currency, flowing better than
What's
fluently.
going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy, the beautiful black man, Brimezus, back in here for another YouTube episode. We're gonna do, it's been many years since we did our last Neutral Corner episode, and of course it took a very specific event for me to come out and do a Neutral Corner episode, and that's right, you guys guessed it. Today we're gonna talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Logan Paul. Let's go. Before I get into the video, guys, don't forget to 1, like the video, 2, comment below and tell me who you guys think are going to win in the fight / exhibition between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. Anyway, guys, you can cop one of these Jack's Kickboxing Gym shirts off of my website, jkbgym.com. It has plenty of Jack's Gym merchandise as well. You can also find these same kind of shirts on my Teespring, the link in the description below. And that has my King Kamara, Brimezus, and Jack's Gym shirts all in store for you guys to purchase. And most importantly, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to help my YouTube channel grow. But without further ado, guys, we're gonna go into the episode. Welcome back to Neutral Corner, and now I have a script. The Neutral Corner is a series where we go over the feats, accomplishments, data, and statistics to determine who would win in a fictitious bout between two combatants. So, of course, you know, we have the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul happening on June 6th. We're gonna first introduce Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr., as many of you guys know, is my favorite fighter of all time. I mean, Muhammad Ali is my hero, but as a fighter, as an athlete, I look up to Floyd Mayweather for several different reasons. Okay, but first I'm gonna go over his stats. He's a 15-time world champion, 5 different weight classes. He's beaten the best of the best. He's beaten more significant fighters than any other fighter in the history of boxing and any other combat sports. He is undefeated with a record of 50-0. He has made more money than any other athlete in the history of sports. He was the highest paid athlete for many years running. And he dominated the sport longer than any other athlete has dominated the sport without a loss, hands down. So Mayweather, yes, as a boxer, he is excellent. Not only is his defense usually undisputed as the best of all time, but his offense is, in my opinion, equally as prolific. He is the most accurate boxer of all time, averaging about 42 to 46% rate of landing shots since copy box has existed. Since the existence or creation of copy box, Mayweather is by far the most accurate puncher in the history of boxing. So basically, this guy doesn't even miss. He has the best Build-A-Bear combos of any other fighter in the history of the sport. What Build-A-Bear combos are is kind of like improvised combos where some fighters will throw just technique already premeditated, where Mayweather can just kind of adjust and throw random shots from different angles mid-combo. And Mayweather is the best at that. He has spider sense, like reflexes. His ring generalship is unparalleled but from any other fighter. Mayweather isn't the hardest puncher in the sport by any means, but he does not have to be. Now, guys, what some people don't understand is not about the quantity of people that you fight. Okay, it's about the quality. Mayweather doesn't have to fight every single person in boxing to prove that he's the best. It's about quality. For example, and I'm going to try to keep this halfway family friendly. Imagine if you're a guy. Would you rather date, as Coach Greg Adams would say, 100 busted Pillsbury dough cans? Or would you date 10 models? You'd rather date 10 models. All right, and that's the same case with Mayweather. You know, Mayweather does not have to fight 100 different bums, scrubs, or people that are on his level, but he's gonna fight the best of the best. And that's what Mayweather has done and came out victorious more than any other fighter in the history of any sport. For sure. He's just a dominant figure. He transcended the game. He has the highest pay-per-view buys. And here's the thing you guys gotta understand about Mayweather is oftentimes the villain. He plays the character of the villain. And what you'll understand is that, guys, people will pay to see you lose more than they will pay to see you win. For example, you don't play boxing. You play football, soccer, basketball, But when you watch those things for free on TV, with the inclusion of cable, you watch those sports to watch your team win. When you watch boxing and you pay for it, it's okay to pay for somebody that you really have an attachment to, but you will pay for somebody to get humiliated more than you'll pay for to see somebody that you want to support and win. And that's the difference between boxing and other sports. And Mayweather plays that heel, that bad guy, that villain, so that even somebody who's not the heavy boxing enthusiast, they will come out some money out their pocket to hopefully see this guy get knocked out or humiliated. And that's what pay-per-view started, guys. But usually black fighters, since Muhammad Ali, you have to pay to watch these guys perform, because people want to pay to see people like Muhammad Ali and other black fighters lose, because unfortunately the African American community is not the Hispanic or British or other communities in the United States. We have a habit of not really supporting our own people, like how people would champion, or the Filipinos would champion, a person like Manny Pacquiao. So that's why pay-per-view does exist. But on the other hand, it's not something exclusive to black fighters. For example, we have people like Conor McGregor, who plays a villain. And one of the most notorious persons to ever enter YouTube is Mayweather's opponent on June 6th, the extraordinary Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul I have a lot of respect for. I remember when I was beginning my YouTube days back in 2017 full time, there was that whole controversy with Logan Paul, which made it so that lower level YouTube channels wasn't receiving any AdSense. So, you know, that definitely did hurt me and did definitely demoralize me a little bit. But Logan Paul, as a figure, he definitely knows what he's doing from a business sense. He is very smart. He's probably gonna be the next Donald Trump. He's very business savvy, and he also works very hard. So you can complain that he has some kind of privilege, but at the end of the day, he's putting in the work. Now, there's a lot of people I know talk a lot of trash, act tough, and will never even step inside a gym. And even if these kind of individuals step inside of a gym, they will not step inside of the ring just to spar, let alone fight. This guy, Logan Paul, along with his brother Jake, stepped inside the ring to fight in professional fights. Logan Paul himself fought a 6-round professional fight. I, as a professional fighter, and I have about 70 fights, I've never fought a 6-round fight in my life. And this guy fought 6 rounds. You don't understand how difficult and physically taxing that is for the human body. You have to really prepare your body under immense pressure to get inside the ring and fight for 6 minutes. To give you perspective, guys, do something that's extremely physically demanding, right? And then do that for 3 minutes without stopping, more or less, and then do that 6 times over. Imagine how draining that will be on your body. And that's what Logan Paul did. So Logan Paul has the cojones, as I would say. So he doesn't have the experience, but he works hard. And one thing he's bringing to this fight is that he's bringing a humongous size advantage. So in a 6-round exhibition, despite Mayweather's skill in boxing, you still have weight classes, because you can only compensate for size with skill in the realm of boxing. Even if it was a different sport like kickboxing, MMA, size will make a large difference when you have to fight under a specific rule set. Now, if it's on the street, you know, Mayweather could probably poke his eyes out, but at the same time, so could Logan Paul poke Mayweather's eyes out. Due to the size difference here, Mayweather's punches aren't going to have the same effect on Logan Paul, and Logan Paul will gladly eat a punch from Mayweather to land a big shot of his own. As a matter of fact, most of Mayweather's opponents, if not all of them, did their very best to land, to trade a shot, to land a shot on Mayweather. They call that the GameStop trade, because Mayweather's skill is so high that their only chance of victory is to put their body on the line, their health on the line, to land the shots against Mayweather. It's actually an uneducated form of going about a lot of fights, but it's all you can do against Mayweather, who has superior skill. Now, with this about at least 50 pounds between the two on fight day, it's going to be difficult for Mayweather to offensively fight against Logan Paul in the first early rounds. In order for Mayweather to actually become Mayweather in an offensive sense, he's going to have to wait until the 4th, 5th, and 6th round and hopefully tire out Logan Paul a lot. If Logan Paul decides to cheese Mayweather out and fight this defensively, Mayweather can be in a little bit of trouble. Because even though Mayweather is by far the best defensive fighter, even in his old age right now, he's about 45. It's still going to be hard for him to mount a proper offensive in a boxing rule set against Logan Paul. He will get his shots in, but Logan Paul can easily cheese Mayweather out a little bit and take the exhibition deep waters to make it more of an even exchange between him and Mayweather. So it's, even though Mayweather, despite his age, despite his inactivity, and despite his size disadvantage, definitely has a higher probability of beating Logan Paul in this exhibition, but it is going to be a competitive affair. You saw what Jake Paul, the lesser experienced boxer out the Paul brothers, did to Ben Askren. He knocked him out within the first round. That's a professional world champion knocked out. So of course, Ben Askren is no Mayweather when it comes to boxing, but still, Ben Askren is a lot heavier, a lot bigger than Mayweather, and it's going to be a lot easier for him to take a heavy punch from a guy Logan Paul's size as opposed to Mayweather. Mayweather, if he gets hit hard, I don't think it's going to take Mayweather out, but it can demoralize Mayweather for sure. It could definitely put Mayweather to the ground if he gets hit with a lucky punch. Anybody can get hit with a lucky punch, and it can definitely change the way that Mayweather is going to fight. For example, even non-boxing fans are sometimes familiar with the term from Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face, or everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Now, I mean, again, because I'm such a big Mayweather fan, of course I want Mayweather to win, more or less. But I'll tell you why I want Logan Paul to win. And for those of you guys familiar, because of Logan Paul, the price of vintage Pokemon cards skyrocketed to meteoric levels. I invested in Pokemon cards, and Logan Paul is bringing the most attention into the Pokemon trading and collecting hobby. So if Logan Paul somehow drops Mayweather or gets the better of Mayweather in this exhibition, the price of Pokemon cards are gonna go to levels unfathomable, and I am gonna get very rich. So part of me is actually hoping that Logan Paul at least decks Mayweather, if not beats him, because look, it's gonna be exhibition. Mayweather's still gonna be undefeated technically, even if he loses, and everybody wins. Mayweather gets paid whatever money he's getting paid, probably close to 9 figures. Logan Paul's gonna make at least 8 figures, and everybody who invested in the Pokemon cards in the last year is gonna become millionaires overnight. So yeah, it's gonna bring a lot of attention to that sport. So guys, it's gonna be a significant event. I'm really excited to watch it. I'm gonna be watching it live. You heard my take on Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Logan Paul. So guys, again, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment below and tell me what you thought about this fight. Cop some t-shirts off my Teespring and my website. And most importantly, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's your boy, Brimezus, the beautiful black man. I will see you guys next time.